You enter the area, and you see what looks like just like a circle of like wagons, elaborate banners and statues are just dotted all over the place. Many of them very colorful, many of them like just abstract in terms of what they're trying to represent. It is a mix of what looks like goblins and halflings primarily seem to be all over the place. But you see several humans as well, and a few other larger humanoids. And you immediately say, hey, we need help. Is there a healer? And several people come rushing. And a few point you to a tent. This stark white tent with what looks like red symbols across it.
International colors of the white mage. Let's go.
Yeah, of course.
If that was true, that would be true. But it would have to be a tier 2 druid at a very specific path.
Alright. Well, whoever's there, they hopefully can help. I will lead Elijah the donkey and his unconscious cargo into the white tent, or over to the white tent.
Well, you do that, and you see a goblin inside. And he says, "What's going on? What can I do for you?"
You know, in the realm, they're like considered your cousins, right?
Yeah, the like smelly cousins.
You know, they think ill of you too.
I know, they are playable races. Everyone thinks ill of everybody, so...
Right, I just mean there's no inherent racial tension between goblins and everybody else.
Yeah, like, not to the degree of something like a D&D, I guess.
Right, so you really makes you seem like a bad person.
Exactly. Well, yeah. We've all... yes, well, Mouse will swallow her reservations and say, we have a friend here, a traveling companion. Well, he caught a chill, slipped into some sort of unending sleep. We fear that we're losing him. Can you help him, please? He's outside in the cart.
Oh, yes. Please, can you bring him in? We have a bed.
He's a rather large fellow, but I'll do what I can. And she'll run out crying, Frawley!
You, I'm assuming Frawley, it just, like, lifts up, Slolnik, and you plop him up on a bed, and the goblin immediately snaps its fingers, and you see two other goblins, I guess acting as nurses, like, already, like, getting blankets and just wrapping you up.
Maxima says, we've been leeching him, but it doesn't seem to have helped.
That's a good move. That'll get rid of any poisons. Assuming.
Just seems to make him paler and paler and paler, but we just can't get those humors out, man.
The goblins are going to attempt a heal check, right? I believe that is a skill.
Sounds like it would be.
Yes, it is. They're actually not bad. These goblins are somewhat trained in this, so they're not bad at it.
Oh, wait, hold on. No.
They set up a tent and call themselves healers, so they're somewhat trained.
This is, well, listen, I don't mean to make a thing out of this, but, so, if this was, actually, yeah, I don't know. If it's a coma, it's a physical thing, healing probably would work. I was trying to snap him out of it with performance, because it was an empathy damage thing, but,
well, the thing he rolled, or the thing he got on the chart specifically says healing check, though.
So I probably rolled the wrong thing, and in fact, I would have rolled more dice with healing, but okay.
It's okay.
But it's the same die roll, basically.
Oh yeah, he got 3 successes. So congratulations. After about what seems like an hour or two, Solnik, you, your eyes open, flutter, looking at a goblin staring straight at your face.
I will stare sullenly back.
He says, "Don't try to move, we're trying to get the chills off of you."
Oh, thank the heavens. I thought for a moment Goblin Heaven was the real one.
Well, it is, but that's besides the point, young one.
Then why did you bring me back?
You're not going to Goblin Heaven, obviously, at least not today.
Oh,
humans go to Goblin Hell.
Not today, go Goblin Hell. Which surprisingly is Goblin Heaven for goblins.
Yeah. Alright, so if I'm reading this correctly, you immediately recover a number of points in the broken attribute equal to the number of 6s rolled. So you get 3 wits back.
Pretty sweet.
And he says, "You should be all right. Here, eat this. Well, drink this, I should say. It's hot tea."
It's delicious tea.
Yes, yes. You should thank your friends. They saved you.
They actually found their way out of that one hex? I'm amazed. It's a miracle.
It is rough out on the plains. There's a lot of talk of strange folk abroad.
Well, and the howling wind that, removes all landmarks.
Yes.
And the wasps.
Oh, the winter wasps. Almost as bad as the winter leeches.
Indeed.
The goblin then turns to, Maxima, and he says, "Yes, he should be all right. He should be all right. We must discuss payment, though."
Of course. It always comes, Yes, so, what do we owe you?
Oh, it's simple. Just a silver will be enough.
I can spare a silver. I don't mind covering this one.
What do you mean you can spare a silver? Are you holding out on me?
Yes, the answer is yes. And also I intend to use this as some sort of bargaining collateral later when you try to filch me for more money.
Well, it's 1 silver. I can deduct that from your debt.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like a true businessman.
I'm willing to forgive you guys getting lost in the wilderness for several days.
Actually, it was 2 days.
That's several.
Several quarter days. Well, I think you'll find it was only a couple of.
Yeah, it took you about a week to get here in the end.
Well, we're here.
We're here.
Time to sell some stupid crap.
Yes, time to do a lot of things.
The goblin says, "Well, thank you, and welcome to Relian's retreat."
Which one of you is Relian?
That's not me. He's the one in charge of the caravans. I'm just their local doctor. I like to call myself doctor. Everyone else just calls me a druid for some reason. I don't understand that.
I have no idea why. You don't have any of the markings of...
You're right there.
I bet you can't even transform into a wolf, which is associated with druids for some reason.
No, I cannot do that.
All right. Anyway, thank you. I'm eager to get back on my own feet, even though my strength is 0.
Strength's at 0 too?
Nothing healed.
Oh, well,
when I went down, my strength, and wits were 0, and I suffered this critical injury.
Okay, so, alright, at the very least, you got your wits recovered for 3.
Yeah, but I'm still weak. But it doesn't matter, because we're here, so we're going to go ahead and trade some crap.
Also, You could just take a quarter of the day and sleep.
We gotta sell first.
Wow.
Yeah, it's still morning when you finally get in, so, you can spend time during the day here on the retreat to do your business. I don't have, where'd I put that art?
I mean, I'll just spend a quarter of the day cleaning and fixing the chainmail. Why? One of the reasons I put.
Is there
Sure. I mean, realistically, I'm not sure how you restore rusted chainmail without getting, I don't know how that would work.
I'm a smith. I'm in addition to having.
So that gives you the magic power to unrust metal?
I'm also a sorcerer if you want to throw out magic power.
All you need to do to unrust metal is to, especially chainmail, just dip it into a barrel full of vinegar and sand. The sand will scrub off the rust, as the vinegar also acts to chemically remove it.
Right, but that won't magically turn metal that has rusted away. It just removes the rust. So the whole thing would just disintegrate.
Right, which is why I asked when I looted it if it was broken. Which it's not.
Okay, well, I mean, if it's still salvageable...
Also, the crafting rules allow you to fix broken items.
If it's merely broken, then yeah. And actually, it had to... I guess it was supernaturally charged from the stupid Death Knight, somehow sustaining it so he could use it to kick our ass. So yeah, if you're... I mean...
But I mean, it wasn't broken, it was just rusted, which means it doesn't really require that much repair, because the broken condition actually has degrees and everything like that.
Apparently, it was still good enough for the knight, so it's still good enough for you.
Assumedly, the fact that the knight would have gotten full armor bonus for soaking the damage means that it's not broken, because it would have gotten reduced.
Well, he's also... He's got skeleton power. You don't have skeleton power.
Well, no, I mean that mechanically... he would have rolled full armor dice, which means that the armor dice still exist, which means it's not broken, it's just
but
rusted.
it might work better for him because he's got skeleton power. He also was making hissing noises and breathing without any lung.
Yeah, I'm basing my argument off game mechanics and that nerd.
Well, it's fine. If you can get some money for it or want to wear it.
I want to wear it. I don't want to die, and clearly, just wandering from town to town has almost killed one of us.
Basically, yeah. Well, not just wandering, we got lost.
Yeah, I throw that into the wandering category. If you're heading to a place on purpose, you're not wandering.
So, how do we liquidate?
Well, there are the goblin basically says, plenty of merchants here. If you're willing to make deals and strike a bargain,
I'm willing to make deals and strike a bargain. It's what my character does.
Well then, how about this? I'll point you to my cousin Tyrek.
So you said we can sell stuff for half its value?
Mostly, unless if you would like to haggle.
How does one haggle?
Give me a second.
Because, I have skills. I am a peddler.
It would be manipulation primarily, I believe.
Yes, which I am good at.
By the way, I just want to point out that there is a specific path for increasing or decreasing the price on this, right?
Yes, I do not have it.
Yeah,
yes.
But doesn't your power automatically do that for a roll anyway?
My power. Which power are you referring to?
Look at your talents straight.
Path of Gold is, let's see. No, it's only when I buy stuff.
Is it? Okay. It reduces the
and
price.
I have to spend willpower points, which I have 0.
You should have some, haven't you?
No, you should have at least 2, from what I understand.
When you took
willpower?
damage, when you pushed rolls, that's how you gain willpower. That's when we said.
Yeah,
you should
no,
willpower.
I started with 0, and I've pushed twice with willpower points. I have 0. I've been keeping track of that.
Oh, so you've used them? Okay.
Yeah, if I started with 0, I still have 0.
Well, no, when you pushed and you took damage from pushing, every time you
So when I started the game, I'm going to ask this question again. When I started the game...
I don't care how much you started the game with. You started with 0, yes. How many times have you pushed?
0. Yeah, no, I've kept track of when I've been pushing.
Right.
I'm at 0.
You've used all the willpower that you gained.
Yes.
Okay, because you keep asking, how much did I start the game with? Which doesn't matter. It's how much times you pushed, how much damage you took from pushing.
Yeah, so I don't think it doesn't seem like you used any of the willpower you got.
I only recall you saying you used 1 willpower.
I was pushing. I said, okay, a couple times I said I was going to put... If you guys want to give me... I'll break down willpower points.
The problem here is I'm hearing confusion that you don't actually seem to be having confusion. You don't spend willpower to push. That seems like you gain willpower from pushing. You don't spend willpower to push.
What do you spend willpower for?
The powers that you have for your talents or traits and stuff like that. There's certain ones that require you spend willpower.
So do you remember when you said before I wanted to spend a willpower to do a roll?
Sorry, yeah, no. But I did some adaptive things, which is rolling willpower for skills I don't have.
Yes, you did that before at least once.
I've spent the points.
Okay, you spent both of those on that adaptive?
Yeah, I tried it twice and it didn't work.
I see. Okay, just want to make sure then.
Yeah. No, I hear. I'm sorry. By push, I meant the adaptive thing. I apologize. I have 0 willpower, so I can't use anything. I've been rolling. Yeah, I've been rolling like ass several times.
That's okay. So is everybody else.
What are we? I've been rolling pretty well. Well, maybe not consistently. What are we rolling for?
Well, you're gonna go shopping, right? There's plenty of caravans. And,
yeah.
And the goblin that healed you suggested go to his brother. Or cousin.
Does his brother sell ranged weapons?
The brother, you find the tent, because it just says T-Rex at the top. And he says, welcome. I have many things, yes. You want weapons? I have weapons. He actually opens up a chest, and inside the chest you see just what looks like assortment of swords and daggers and things.
I was thinking more along the lines of short bow, preferably of elven make if you have them, but I'll take whatever you have in stock.
Ooh, hold on, let me check. And he looks in. He actually goes inside his caravan tent for a moment. After about 10 minutes, he comes out. He says, I found one! Yes, not elven, just regular, though.
Let me see. She like a moment to examine the bow. Does it look like it's a sham bow? Is it
Shambo.
Shambo, is it?
Rochambeau?
Rochambeau.
Yeah. It is unremarkable in every way. It looks like the wood is not super polished. It looks like the string that's attached to it is sturdy enough. It does have like a small leather wrapping grip.
All right.
It's as basic as you get.
The common price for a short bow is 6 silver. She says, yeah, it's not exactly what I was looking for. I suppose I could give you 4 silver for it, however, if you throw in some arrows.
Arrows I don't have, I don't think. You said 4?
Yes, I suppose it's worth 4.
Roll the manipulation.
Oh, you know I will.
This, I'll do Slotnick next.
Ooh, look at me. I can even spend some of these, spend some willpower, and do empathy damage to him. Wait, actually, no, I can't. I don't know why I thought I had that. That must have been on a character that died.
Probably the original.
Never
version.
mind.
He, the goblin says, fine, take. For 4.
For 4. I love it. Will nod satisfied and slide the 4 silver over, and then set out and look for someone who might sell some arrows for this thing, because it wouldn't be worth much without them.
I mean, you do find a smith and a Fletcher, so there's
a Fletcher to the Fletcher.
Yeah, the Fletcher is making arrows, and he says each bundle is how much? Let me see. Does it actually say in the book?
Yeah, I'm searching for them now.
Each bundle is basically a quiver, right?
Sure. Sure. I mean, a quiver is a separate thing, really. But maybe that counts?
You found a
Arrows.
quiver of wooden head arrows for 6 copper.
Man, wooden head. Okay, well, the price is right. No iron-headed arrows?
He said, iron's hard to come by around here. We're usually just using all the wood from the forest to build things. Works most of the time.
Alright, I suppose 6 and 8 is 14, so I'll give him a silver. I'll give him 2 silver, and I need 6 copper change for 1 bundle of arrows and a quiver to put them in.
Yeah, that's fine. He will give you the copper change. He says,
Alright, that's my shopping.
That's good.
It's funny, it's a -1 to manipulation if the person you're trying to manipulate is at short range or longer.
That's ridiculous, but you still pass because he has very terrible dice. He's not that good of a merchant, apparently.
There's a pages on social conflict. I was like, how do you figure out how well to manipulate somebody down cost?
Norman, are you looking to liquidate a dead leech?
Yeah, I want to liquidate the dead leech, the rusted broadsword, and a pile of bones from a death knight.
That is such a very eclectic mix of items. So
it's the only stuff I have that's loot. So
rusted broadsword, you can bring that to the smith they have. There's not a lot of like metal workings, and he says he'll be happy to.
You just said that.
What's that?
I said iron's rare. You just said iron was rare.
He did, and he's happy to take that rusted sword off of you.
All right, how much?
I'm looking for prices. Hold on a second. Too many tables.
Iron rare?
Not normally, for
like
these guys.
One of the base stronghold modifiers is you can get a mine, which will make iron.
He could also be lying when they said iron's hard to come by for arrows. I mean, merchants don't always tell the truth.
He's willing to actually pay. He's willing to pay 12 silver for the broadsword.
Jackpot! Wow, this must be worth a lot more money if it can actually be fixed, right?
Yeah, actually, we would probably be at least going like close to 20 silver if it was fixed.
Wait, how much? How much are you offering for a rusted
you're
broadsword?
offering 12 for a rusted broadsword and 20 if it was fixed, which means it sells for about 40 new.
A brand new broadsword sells for 10 silver, so I don't know what the money going on right here is.
It's called the fact that iron is rare in these parts.
Oh.
Okay. Man, I happen to know a smith who could actually repair this, so we could actually get it fixed up for somebody to actually use it.
Does he have a license to work in the retreat?
No, if you're offering 12 silvers for something we could buy for 10 somewhere else, I can't turn that down. So I will go ahead and sell you this rusted broadsword. I'm not expecting there is much of a market for dead leeches and Death Knight bones, but I'm going to try.
Well, you could try.
You want me to make a skill roll for this, or is it just something that happens?
I mean, he's going to say you can try the alchemist tent. Maybe they can take them.
I'll hit several people. We can spend, a quarter day doing this?
Yeah, if you want.
Here I am limping along at 0 strength trying to sell my stupid crap. Is there a skill roll for this, or is this something that just happens?
I mean, you can just try to sell. If you want to negotiate prices, that would be the skill roll.
Okay. So it just happens?
Yeah.
Okay, well...
I'm sorry, I should have clarified that. For the leech and for the bones... you eventually find the, for the leech, they'll give you, 3 copper. For the bones, they don't seem to care the fact that it's from a Death Knight. It's just bones.
Alright, I'll sell the leech and I'm done.
And, they're like, just get rid of the bones. If you want to ground them into powder, we'll do that, but that'll be like a copper.
Why is this not deleting? Go away.
Go away, bones. We don't need you.
I thought you clicked on the little corner and make stuff go away.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Oh, never mind. Trying to delete stuff. I thought that just opens up the description. How do you actually delete stuff from your inventory?
Inventory. What you do is you see at the bottom where you see the lock symbol next to the plus.
Oh, I got to unlock and then I can delete. Okay, there we go. That makes sense. I'll grind the stupid bones. Get rid of this. Now people are eating cursed bread. You're all cannibals now.
I'm sure they sell a mortar and pestle you can use.
Do I have to get one of those?
I mean, you can use a mortal pestle, but that'll cost you some money.
How much?
Hold on a second. I'm getting my price guide up.
Never mind, the immortal and pestles around here are made of iron. It's like 20 gold.
Why would you make them out of iron?
I don't know. I'm being flippant.
You're mad about the 20 gold.
I'm just sitting and I'm thinking I really liked the element of how little money there was flowing before, because it made survival a lot more challenging when you had nothing.
It's not like money's going to solve all my problems.
I think it actually will. Last time when we actually random rolled peddlers, I'm like, God, this is the best scenario. These peddlers are going to solve all of my problems.
To rent out a mortar and pestle will cost you a silver.
Oh, that's the rent?
Oh, yes.
What if I wanted to buy it?
5 silver.
Yeah, I'll spend the 5 silver. I'll actually buy one.
Okay.
And I can't manipulate the price because I don't have any willpower.
No, you do have willpower, remember?
No,
excuse me, you have your wit. My apologies. My apologies, your wits is what I was thinking. Yes, you cannot manipulate that, unless you want to attempt a roll with your wits. Or is it empathy?
Wait, can you manipulate prices?
Yes.
Without a special ability?
Yeah, you just do the roll.
There's no rules for it, so technically it's just making it up. So.
Oh, okay, that's what I meant. I mean, because there's an ability that does it. So
the ability makes it automatic. The roll would be normal. That would be a manipulation roll. So it's I think.
So is there a haggling rule in the game, or are you just making this up?
No, that's in the game.
No, there is no haggling. There is no haggling rule in the game.
Well, there's no haggling rule in the game.
Well, there's no use of manipulation to change prices rule in the game either. You can search for all these.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. Oh, there isn't? I thought there was.
No.
Okay, I'll just pay for it. And I'm done.
So I keep bringing it up because it negates an entire career's ability to allow anybody to do it.
Oh shit! I am so sorry. I thought there was a thing.
No, don't worry about it.
I do. I want to make sure it's fair. Anyway, okay. So then that's done. You get your gold. You buy the mortar pestle.
I came out ahead. I have a mortar and pestle, and I grind these bones, and now I have a mortar and pestle.
I hate to say it, but this really feels like the kind of town where they're now going to ask you, do you have a license to use that mortar and pestle?
Well, they didn't, so we're good. And if they do ask, it's actually easier for me to lie because it doesn't require any willpower points to lie.
No, it does not. Everybody else is done shopping or no?
Well, so I forgot. that I have this very nice silver necklace with this gemstone. I don't know if this caravan has the money to buy it or the interest, but I might approach someone. Are there any jewelers hanging around here?
There is a very large and elaborate tent. And inside of it, it almost looks like it's Mardi Gras inside. You just see what looks like half a dozen smaller smaller vendors in between it. The center of the room, there is a band playing music. Giving a performance for everyone. See, there are people eating and also drinking. Seems like this area is also serving as maybe a beer hall tent.
Okay.
You go up to one of the stalls and you offer them. You ask them to see the necklace. They look at it and they say, "Ooh, this is interesting. Where'd you find this?"
Oh, happened to cross it on my travels.
Well, yes, he hems and haws and he says, "Well, I could offer you 5 silver for it."
5 silver. I don't know. This gemstone, Did we just determine that I'm not supposed to be haggling prices because it's a specific talent that somebody has?
Apparently, yeah. So we can't use the manipulation anymore.
Oh, fine. Okay. So you're saying 5 silver is the price. I guess I will part with it for 5 silver.
Very good, very good. Thank you. You've made a good deal. Now come.
She's sorry to see it go. She has to he has to tug it out of her hands, but she lets it go.
Well, all I will say is enjoy the music while we can.
What do you mean while we can?
Well, the caravan will be moving on within a few months.
I had been meaning to ask. Obviously, you have traveled some distance. Perhaps you have heard any rumors of the Chapel of Blood the Russ brothers have been searching for.
Oh. And you see the figure, he kind of just puts his mouth up like this to you. I'd be careful of what you'd say, but if you're interested in more information, you should need to talk to Relian.
Oh, the Relian. And where might I find him?
Oh, he's probably in his private box, and he points to a what looks like it's almost like an area that's blocked off by a curtain.
Okay. In this establishment, in this sort of drinking hall.
Yeah.
Oh, all right then. Thank you very much for the trade and for the information. I will go and see if Relian has a moment to spare.
Good luck. If you're lucky, you might catch him on a good timing.
Oh, you don't know me very well, but I am the luckiest. And she'll stroll off with a whistle and see what she can do. I guess she'll stand outside of the box and holler, "Hello, is a Sir Relian available?"
Nobody answers.
Well, not being a bashful halfling, I'm gonna just poke my head under around the cloth and see what I can see in there.
The moment you poke your head in the cloth, you poke it through. You see what looks like very elaborate shawls and pillows arranged on wooden stools and a bench. You see a particularly fat goblin hanging out, and he looks like he's visibly sleeping.
All right,
as opposed to sleeping invisibly.
Exactly.
Visibly sleeping is okay. So the next question: do I spy anything that looks incredibly valuable in here?
Oh God, everything
shiny.
In this room, everything looks pretty valuable in here.
Is there anything that's shiny and pocketable?
Nothing shiny necessarily. As far as pocketable, if you want to grab a shawl or a cloth off of something, you can do that, I guess.
I have to check the wording on my. Hold on. It just says steal valuables. Okay, yeah, if I see a very valuable, like, silk scarf or shawl, I'm going to try to snatch it up and stuff it in a pouch.
You do that, and as you do that, I need you to do something for me.
Anything for you, Rob.
Oh, baby, I need you to roll a...
I got sleight of hand, perhaps, or stealth.
Do the sleight of hand first. Or, I assume you were not trying to be stealthy, or are you? Let me actually ask that.
Oh, I guess that's the question, right? I mean, I assume because he appears to be sleeping, I would try to move in a way that would not wake him. But if he was faking, I'm not doing anything. I'm not trying to hide my theft. I'm just trying to be quiet about it.
Yeah, no, that would be a stealth then.
Here we go! That's a lot of dice with no successes, so I'm gonna try pushing.
Alright.
There we go!
Alright, you creep up, and you see this lovely, like, purple shawl that you can grab. It's actually quite, surprisingly quite colorful, comparatively, because you very rarely see, colors like this. I need you now to roll your wits.
Oh boy. Oh, fail.
That's pretty bad.
I mean, yeah. I could push it for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so that's 2 wits damage and no successes.
You basically, you go around, looking around, you grab the shawl. It feels very soft to the touch, almost like this lovely, texture to it. You immediately go to pocket it, but then all of a sudden the shawl is gone, and in your hands you see what looks like a giant cobra.
Oh no. Alright, I think she will probably shriek and drop the cobra.
The minute you shriek, everything around you disappears, including the sleeping goblin.
Oh shit. Okay.
Uh-oh. And you see 3 figures before you. 2 humans and a fat goblin that looks like the sleeping goblin.
Oh my. She'll smile and wave sheepishly and say, Wrestling? Hold on. Relian. Relian, is it? I was looking for you.
He doesn't say anything, but the 2 humans, but one of them, like, has you on, like, pat your shoulder. And the other one smiles. And he says, and after, like, a couple of seconds, the goblin then just kind of bellows and burps out, like, what do you want? And why should I not have your hand cut off right now?
Well, why should... Well, my hands are worth quite a lot. Especially when given a task. I was here to proffer my services as a master thief. You've heard of the Shadow, no doubt. Haha. My exploits are legendary. And, you know, I assumed that there's, someone in your position might have use of a burglar.
Are you trying to convince him that you're useful?
Yeah, I suppose.
Roll yourself the manipulation now. And I will roll against you.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
You gonna push?
Push, push, push. 2 successes. Ha!
2 against none. Dang it.
I mean, I don't see why he couldn't push also, unless there's some rule against it for GMs.
I didn't check if there's a rule for NPCs pushing or not, but regardless, I don't think he would need to at least get 3 or more to beat you anyway, so I don't think it's a possibility. Yeah, see, like that.
Look at that. Yep.
That's the thing, though. Again, I gotta double check if NPCs can push. I don't know if they can because I didn't see that in the GM guide.
I really haven't even looked at the GM guide.
Oh, I've been reading crash course reading it for the past couple of days to try and get everything better. But a lot of the stuff that they talk about, it seems to be the presumption that you've read the player's handbook first, player's guide, which is perfectly fine.
Right. Yeah.
But the way my brain works, it needs to be in the same place because that annoys me. So.
Right. Yeah.
Well, it's also that a lot of the DM's guide is lore for stuff that you should be doing. It's like I'm trying to know the rules, but I also don't want to read that stuff with spoilers.
Yeah, they put all the lore at the front too, which they probably should have put it at the end, but it is what it is.
If it helps, one of the rules is monster attacks can't be pushed. I don't know if that's a basis for all NPCs.
I don't know either. Well, I'll look it up later. We'll assume that you actually succeed in this.
Okay. I mean, I'm comfortable with that.
And he says, "What are you willing to steal?"
Oh, I'll steal anything. Priceless gemstones. The heart of a romantic rival. You know, whatever you want.
20%.
All right. 20% of what now?
Everything you steal, you give me 20%.
I was sort of thinking maybe more of like a one-time arrangement, per diem sort of.
Would you prefer I cut your hand off?
No, I think that'll do quite nicely. Relian, was it? Yes. And where is it that I'll be able to find you to make these payments?
He snaps his fingers, and one of the guards he has comes up to him, and it seems that just out of its pocket, he takes out what looks like a quill and a piece of parchment, and Relian starts scribbling something down, and he says, "Contract here. Read it carefully and sign."
Oh, grand. Okay. She's gonna try to read it, but I think true to life, true to her player, she'll probably just sort of skim it quickly.
Basically says that you will leave 20% to Relian of all loot procured for the next foreseeable future, time permitting up to 5 years.
Okay.
All loot will be accounted for, must be written down in detail. Any time caught skimming off top will see termination of contract and then bounty placed upon the owner of this contract, hence you. The percent is the going rate. You must kick back to Relian once a month with your findings.
Damn.
By the way,
Alright.
NPCs can't push.
Okay.
Thanks for that. Okay. Interesting.
It's, page 49 of the player's guide.
Yeah, and I found, I did a quick Google search. I found something unrelated. But these guys were asking if you're allowed to push during journey rolls and stuff, and it seems like some people think you shouldn't, but I don't think that's what the rules say. So, but anyway, yeah, she's kind of in a no-win scenario here. She could either call for Frawley to come save her, but I don't think he's necessarily nearby. I think she's just gonna have to sign the contract. So,
any questions before you sign?
Just the one. You are a caravan, so I will need to know where to bring the loot. I guess maybe as a meta question, could I pay someone to deliver packages to them, and then I have to trust that they're not going to steal the loot in transit?
Yeah, you could do that if you want. That's up to you, though.
Yeah, just because we've already seen how difficult it is just getting from town to town, I don't know if I would want to have to arrange for extra time to leave the party to do that. That could be like a downtime activity. Sure. Okay, fine.
Finding the caravan will be your problem.
Grand. All right. Well, can you give me at least their next travel plans, where they next plan to relocate?
We're planning on staying here till the river thaws out a little bit, then we're crossing it to go south.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll sign it. I'll sign the paper.
Excellent. Now business. I need you to get something for me. Remember, 20% comes to me, except one item.
And what would that item be?
Well, looking for a helmet that supposedly has a lot of power.
Oh, well, that's ironic, because I, too, was looking for a helmet of great power. This wouldn't happen to be a helmet coveted by the Rust Brothers, would it?
He smiles and he says, yes, the very helmet, probably. Have you heard of Ixiodon?
Oh, would I have? Is that a god?
No. That is not a god, I can tell you that for sure.
Then probably not.
I mean, this would
She
be...
just shakes her head.
I guess this would technically be a lore roll. Nope.
That's a full. And I'm not gonna push it.
He was apparently a Rust Brother hero, known as Ixiodon Redhand. Apparently a big elf. But he was so powerful he was as strong as a troll. Defeated all sorts of demons and orcs and dwarves and other creatures and things like that. Rumor has it all of his power came from his helmet. When he was wearing it, he was almost unstoppable. This was a barbarian enraged. When he died, they buried him, supposedly in this chapel, known as the Chapel of Blood, nicknamed. We've had Rust Brothers here constantly looking for the damn thing, and they won't leave me alone. You get me that helmet, I'll consider that a good job and give you a little extra bonus, maybe let you slip a month on your contract. How's that sound?
Oh, that sounds fair. And I don't suppose you would have any leads as to where one might find this helmet or this chapel?
That's the thing. The one thing I haven't been telling the Rust Brothers. We actually might know where it is.
Oh, well then.
My plan was to actually go there myself, but it's 2-3 days west from here. If I'm correct, it is at least. It's off the border of the forest near Lake Varda.
Okay. We've got a direction and a location.
And if you go to the main map, he's pointing to this area somewhere.
I didn't realize we weren't on the main map.
Perfect.
Whoops.
Perfect. All right, I like it. Okay, she says, well then, if that helmet is there, consider it yours. I do travel. I have a small number of traveling companions. Is there any chance we might get a discount on rations for the journey, since this is now sort of a official caravan business?
No.
Right, well, you can't blame a girl for trying. Anything else that you would like me to do while I'm out?
Just remember, 20%.
Yes, of course. 20%. He's just trying to grin. It's the shit-eating grin. She's just trying to put on a happy face, but she's pissed off.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, you found her weakness, and I guess that's what she gets. But okay, so I'm gonna go and convey that information to the rest of the party. With some excitement and reservation, and she'll probably keep the detail of her now sort of indenturement.
Hey guys, I've become an underworld agent.
Yeah, no, she's gonna keep that part to herself. But she is going to say that she found a patron who is willing to buy the helmet from us.
You met the Godfather.
God damn you, Rob. The Godfather apparently knows some magic too. It's my first run-in with illusions of that type, so that's impressive. She'll add that she seems kind of like the sort of person you don't want to cross. The supposed location of this Crimson Crypt, I already forgot. Chalice, but the location of this place...
This Crimson Chalice?
Is on the eastern bank of Lake Varda, which will show on the map.
So north of where that tower is supposed to be?
I assume that's where we were getting pinged.
I don't know, somebody drew an X over north of it.
Yeah, that's me. That's where we were looking at the map at the time, so...
Sorry, when you said I suppose that's where, I thought you meant the tower itself. So I misunderstood what you meant.
Yeah. So, more than a day's journey, but unless we get horribly lost again, maybe like
half a day.
2 or 3 days.
Well, if it's in the forest, you only go one forest tile per.
Yeah.
And then 2 across, we've seen how that works. And
Right, exactly. So anyway, I would recommend we stock up on rations and such. I mean, that's what I might do, because, yeah.
Did that.
You already did that, then I would like to buy some as well. What's the going rate?
I suppose if we're going somewhere, then I should buy some food too.
1 silver.
How does that
ration.
work?
Yeah, it's a silver ration.
Damn,
Since
pricey.
this is a town, it's got water.
Okay, so under gear it lists food. I don't see rations anywhere.
Food is ration.
The food is the ration, so basically that just goes up
because
a
you were
die.
making a big deal of saying how food wasn't rations.
No, it's like a unit of vegetables is, by the book, considered. Remember, the people who make this Roll20 sheet aren't the people who make the game, so...
Understood. So,
that's counting rations, and then food lasts only a day, rations last longer.
So it is a silver
Yes,
to buy one die size or just one die?
One die increment,
One die size, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll spend money on that.
I'll fill
How
up
much is water?
I think they said water is free at towns, but then I don't know if that means you could just get up to a D12 of it.
Well, if it's free, that would mean yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we were doing before.
All right.
Is
so
that?
we
Okay,
replied
then.
for water.
Just go hit up the well, and
I'm sure it's reasonably cholera free. Did you find your arrows?
I did. I've got a D6 of arrows.
All right. Well, I suppose I should buy some torches while I'm here too. How much are torches?
Well, if
Right.
you want, I have a lantern. You can just buy some oil for it.
I also have a lantern as well. But you can have torches too.
Oh,
torches are 5 copper.
Yep.
how much is the lantern?
I think the
2
lantern
silver.
was
4 silver because it actually has metal components to it.
Oh,
Right.
Right.
Firebomb
Because
this fucking place if they don't move in 5 months.
Yeah, I'll just buy some torches.
Yeah, you also have to buy lamp oil for the lantern.
And there's another reason
Yeah,
why I
I'm
want to
so-
build strongholds, because the strongholds can also have mines, and then have smithy, and then just produce fucking iron.
Yeah. You guys can get your own lamp oil. I'm going to go ahead and buy some torches, just in case we
Cool.
need them. Okay, well, I'm stocked up for adventuring.
By the way, where should the other
yeah.
X have been?
I'm sorry?
Like over here? Is that the one?
Before we get killed, I should also ask, you guys said armor was expensive. How much is, like, leather armor?
Good question. Let's see.
Second, regular leather
Yeah.
is just 4 silver here.
Wow. Yeah,
Actually, there's some more
and they're
too.
short of on iron. I'm going to buy some armor before I get my ass kicked.
Leather they're fine with. If you were getting like the studded leather, that would be 8 silver.
Yes.
At that point, just head back to the ship we came from and buy stuff over there.
Yeah, I'm going to buy the studded leather because I don't feel like dying. Where do we put this down?
There's an armor spot like near the top for
There we go. How much is studded leather worth?
6 silver. 8
6
silver.
silver.
You just said 8 silver.
No,
Oh,
like, what does
sorry,
it
8.
do?
Oh, it gives you an armor rating of 3, so when you're taking attacks, you can roll 3 armor dice, and any
Yay.
successes reduce the damage.
All right, every time I raise my armor rating to 3,
You need to raise the minimum before you can raise the.
you need to raise the max before you're allowed to raise
Right.
it.
I knew it was
Right,
one of the two. Sorry, I'm not looking at the sheet at the moment.
Okay, does it have any features or it's just studded leather?
No features. I'm gonna get normal leather, which has the light feature, and studded leather is just a normal weight, I think.
That's what the letters mean. Tiny,
Yeah.
light, normal,
And
and
if you
heavy.
have more money,
Yeah.
you can also buy
Yep.
some caps.
You buy a helmet?
Studded leather cap
Yeah.
has an armor rating of 1, costs 3, probably costs more here.
No, it's only studded leather. Yeah, it's 5.
Yeah, because there's no regular leather cap.
How much? Oh, there's no regular leather?
No.
None.
That's the first one. Studded leather cap, and you go open helmet, closed helmet, great helmet.
That makes no sense, but okay.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, any game that has studded leather at all
What do you mean? Studded leather makes sense.
doesn't exist. It's made up for
It's-
RPGs.
No, it's not.
What?
Yeah,
No.
We'll discuss this later.
No, we won't discuss it at all, because frankly, I'll drop the call before you get there.
All right.
Hey, we got a legend.
Do we?
Yeah, it just popped up. Centuries ago, Ixodon, Hedran, powerful Rust brother known for his ferocity in battle. Cool. Kills hundreds of thousands of creatures. I like it. Guys, we have a quest. Can we go questing?
Well, that's what I was asking on the other map before we start getting into armor buying, where the other X should be. Not that one, the other one. The one we had before you found that one. Remember the reason why we decided to head west in the first place?
No, I think this was the reason we were looking for this chapel.
No, because even before then, Robert pinged this side of the lake.
I did?
Yeah, at the very beginning of the session. When you said... Hold on, let me scroll over. I'm zoomed in too far for this argument to work.
I legit don't remember pinging over there.
You pinged down here, and then you pinged over here. Over here. Which is why I'm thinking in my head, okay, we're heading south of the lake.
Oh no, ignore that then. That's the wrong section. I apologize.
Okay, so then we didn't discover something new. We discovered the same old one.
Yes, but now you have actually direction for it.
Red, you're discovering too many new things? You remember we earn an experience for discovering something new? Try and hold back your enthusiasm for discovery. At least to one a session.
One per session, got it. Okay.
Yes, become efficient at discovering shit.
Yes. You know, like the English.
What?
What? I don't think they held back at all.
I'm gonna get on the camera here, air quotes. They have a whole museum of stuff they've discovered.
Well, that's true.
Alright. I propose we set out. I don't know if you guys want to rest here at the caravan first, or if you want to... I guess there's no reason not to, right?
They will charge you some tents and sleeping bags. There is a common area.
That would be a reason not to. How much would that set us back?
That's a good question.
Well, if they're going to charge us to sleep, then I'm going to see if they need anybody to protect them.
Good thinking.
You're going to protect the people sleeping?
Well, he's going to try to hire himself as a bodyguard so he can...
Right.
Ah, yeah. I see. They say, do you have... one of them asked, do you have a license?
These guys, licenses with everything.
No, but I'm sure I can get one eventually.
You need to talk to the the quartermaster, the license master. It's this halfling woman named Miri.
All right, where may I find Miri?
She's usually in the main tent.
Thank you.
And you go inside. That you see the same thing before, the people playing and whatnot. You ask around. You eventually go to a stall that is quite unremarkable compared to the rest. You see a halfling, gray hair. She kind of looks like grandma almost. And she says, "What can I do for you, Sonny?"
Well, I'm looking to get a license to act as a caravan guard.
We're currently not hiring. However, if you want, we can start the process with the paperwork here.
Well, the problem is, I would need the job to get the money to get the license.
Well, then we're at an impasse here because you need to pay the fee to actually get the paperwork.
Shit.
Can't just hire any random Tom, Dick, or Sammy to actually, do work here. You gotta prove yourself that you're able. You need to actually have the cost to do so.
Ugh, goblins.
This is a halfling.
Ugh, halflings.
Right. Well, then...
Hairy goblins.
I'll see what I can do.
Very good. Just so you know, the finder's fee to get the paperwork is 5 silver.
Very well. Thank you for telling me.
Very good. You enjoy the rest of your time.
This place has reminded me of, I want to say Sweet Haven? Was that the name?
I don't know, Sweet Haven.
The port town from the Popeye movie.
Oh, you talk about, like, the tax guy
the
that's
tax
all
guy
over?
running around. Do you have a license to sell that? Do you have a license to stand there? Do you have a license to... How do I get a license?
Well, gotta pay for the license.
First off, you have to find somebody who has a license to sell licenses.
Bureaucracy, ladies and gentlemen. If you're gonna sleep normally, it'll just cost, like, 2 silver a bed.
Shut up, no.
Okay.
Sleeping in the woods, I don't care.
You're just gonna leave and go into the woods?
Just go into the woods and sleep in the woods, I don't care. I'm not paying first of all, I don't have 2 silver to pay for a bed. Secondly, I don't know, that seems like a lot. Maybe for a feather bed.
I would say that anybody could just put 2 logs together and set them on fire, but we've already proven that to be false.
Wow. Shots fired. The wood was wet, okay? There's only so much I could do.
It was your job to make sure it wasn't wet. Who said come back with only wet logs?
Alright, I'm under the assumption then, those of you that are not sleeping in town, you're gonna make camp outside of it?
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead and roll that, please.
Who wants to roll? I only have one wits left.
I'll roll. Survival, right?
I believe so, yes.
Well, I'm back up.
You're good.
Yeah, anything with the wits.
All of us need to roll that aren't staying in town? Or
Yeah.
the caravan?
I assumed you're not staying in town, so you're just, like, off to the side a bit, like, doing your own little campy thing. And the good news is, no one really bothers you during the night, so it passes without much, fanfare.
Sleep and heal my strength.
Huzzah.
So you all heal up, which is good. You're gonna need it.
Yeah. I'm sitting on a lot of willpower right now.
I'm full. Full. And
I'm ready to
all
go.
of my spells are like... I'm the person you'd want if we were, like, sieging this town. Like, I can make all of their food into poison. Like, I can really mess them up. But...
Yeah, it sounds like you're itching to.
No.
Why?
I mean, I
Why
hate
would
these
you do
people, but I just mean I'm not gonna make enemies of the closest town.
I mean,
I'm just really...
if you did kill them, it would get me off the hook, but,
And we'd have a lot of metal on hand as well. I probably have a license to
technically-
poison them.
we could be super villains right now.
Yes, but we can't be arsed.
I said I can spread diseases, I can make all their food into poison, I am just... All the uses I have of my willpower. Because unfortunately I'm a half-elf, which means my racial use of willpower is that I spend one, and I get double the power on my spell.
So, the new day dawns. The morning is a bit chilly. Are you heading out immediately?
Yes, onward.
Well, first I eat, and then...
Oh, okay. I guess we can eat and drink.
You might as well while you're in town. I'm assuming everybody's stocked up.
I would make the argument that I don't have to roll for water, because if I do deplete it, I'll just go back to the caravan and get
That's
some
fair.
water.
I didn't think about that when I wrote mine.
Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. You get a free water for today, so everyone just eats the food.
Nice.
Alright.
When I set up my town, I would have charged for water. So I thought
What?
I could.
Ah.
Oh, they actually do charge for drinks.
No, I think always back to that old Aquafina joke, or whatever it is. The French thing. The French one where, those Americans, they're so stupid, I bet we could sell them water.
Isn't that a movie?
I remember as a stand-up act.
I feel like there's a movie that was all about selling water.
Well, you know, if it's the Middle Ages, you don't drink water, you drink wine.
Mad Max.
Because water is full of cholera.
Or mead.
That's
Yeah,
true.
So you're just trying to drink for food.
That is true, although I guess this is like more post-apocalyptic Middle Ages. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's the question of what you guys want to imitate. Because imagine you go into a town and they have a well. There's a bunch of people here. They could drink all the good water, and when they're pissing and shitting, where are they throwing it?
They do have like a latrine area, to be fair.
Well,
The retreat.
Huzzah, it's probably right over there. And they empty it on a regular basis, right? I mean, there's sanitation people who come through here, clean the place up, and remove all the garbage, right?
You do see a couple of folks who are doing that, yeah, like in the early morning.
I mean, if you wanted to go there, we could go there. It's a question of, you just can't assume that there's enough clean water for everybody to drink. They could easily deplete the well. There could also be assholes who deplete the well and then try to sell us water later.
Or that one sorcerer guy with some food and then dropped it in the well.
Right. I mean, there's all these kinds of horrible things that could happen. It's a question of how gamery or how narrative you want to be.
Hey guys, I think we should get out of town. Why? I killed a guy and then I dumped him in the well last night.
Yeah, basically.
I was actually contemplating charging you like 3 copper for a drink of water, but I thought that might be too much.
I mean, that's well, I mean...
3 copper would be a full meal in most places. That's why this place is just shit to me. It's like... They're just charging us.
So...
you did run into beggars saying they were thieves that stole all their money. This is how they do it.
It's the Middle Ages, guys. Like, you expect everyone to be nice?
God, no, not around here.
Listen, don't get addicted to water.
Drink
that
booze
was the
instead.
good guy who said that, right?
Yeah.
You must not get addicted. Let your addiction to water take
So,
hold.
what hex are you going into tonight?
Today.
Today, yes.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna say north. Yeah, that one.
Oh, sorry, I heard you say north. I'm like, what? Did I get it wrong?
I thought you guys. I thought
No,
we
yeah,
went
I was gonna say
direction.
northwest, and you already did it.
Okay, so we're going towards the blue X, right?
Yeah, the chalice of
there was
the
a-
chapel of blood.
Trove of treasure there. So let's go.
All right, go ahead. Who's leading the way?
There we go.
What
Let's
skill
say
do you use to lead?
survival.
Survival.
I already got
Survival.
it. 7. I've decided to take the roll away from Frosty because he has led us in circles twice.
All right.
Yeah, and does anyone have scouting above a 3?
No.
I mean,
Then
I
I
do,
shall
but again,
scout.
the rule is that you can only do one. I'm only saying that out loud because for Raph's benefit.
Alright, I failed to scout effectively.
Which again only means that you see it coming.
Nothing happens on the road there.
Mouthpiece for the viewer.
That's fine. Somebody needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying the same thing over and over again. I'm like, I'm only annoying them. I'm only here for the one guy who joined us for 5 minutes.
Okay. And because it's plains, we got another movement during this.
You can move again.
To around where a tower is supposed to be.
Well, go ahead and lead the way.
Oh, that did not go well.
No, that did not.
Oh, but it would be 2 damage if I were... I pushed it.
We can risk it.
I'm not doing that much with my wits. I will push it. Well, I've taken 4
Wow.
damage. I can't get any more willpower, by the way, because I'm already full. So nothing good has happened. Let's hit the mishap. Oh no!
no!
The thing that killed...
Amadeus.
I
It's
was
okay.
saying Dalamero, I couldn't remember. Dulcinea.
Oh dear. As you are traveling along the banks of the river, you're noticing like the marshlands are just getting like thicker and thicker. You know that you're coming over to the opening mouth of the river. At least you can see what looks like the lake known as Lake Varda, stretched far beyond the eyes you can see. But the ground is very unstable to the point where you do actually step in some quicksand in the marsh.
Yeah.
Well, time to die.
Wow. Okay.
So for this, everybody rolls a might
Oh, I'm fine.
to escape. If you fail, you suffer a point of damage of agility, and you roll again. Whoever pulls themselves free can help anyone who is still stuck.
Actually, we're doing pretty well. Just
Well-
waiting on...
1, 2, Froley just came up, that's 3, so all 3 of you are safe. Normal, Solnik, yep, you're all good.
How come it says strength 0?
Did you ever heal? Did you take deck of your damage?
Oh no, that's why it says strength 0. Okay.
Yeah, so, but you already succeeded.
But I have to roll 4 more dice because if I don't roll it, I might not roll any skulls and kill myself.
The skulls don't mean anything on your first roll. They only mean anything when you push.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Then I'm
you've
fine.
already succeeded with just the one cross.
I'll take
swords.
it.
Yes, so congratulations. You seem, it's almost as if you have experience with quicksand. You quickly realize not to struggle, and you form a link chain of grabbing each other, and just with the strength of Froley, he grabs onto what looks like a very thick tree trunk, and he just starts pulling until everyone is able to get out of the sand.
I love this because I feel like we're actually learning things about quicksand.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand. It's like, on the one hand, we probably should be next to the river because we might fall in it. On the other hand, if we're not next to the river, we'll get fucking lost.
Who has
Has
good
happened
survival
before.
now?
I mean, I have survival.
Yeah,
I'm
but who has
still-
good survival? Give me a number.
I have good survival 4.
All right,
Oh,
you're-
you should be rolling this.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're better than me now because I've taken 4 hits. So
Right, I mean, now that
wits.
you're hurt. So get yourself in the cart. So I'm leading, is that what I'm doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're leading the way. So it's a
All right.
survival roll.
Let's see. Okay, I think that works. Alright, so that is nothing.
You can
I will go
push.
ahead and push. And that just re-rolls?
Yep,
Yeah.
this is a straight reroll for everything.
I still have nothing.
Got
Which
nothing.
means
Okay.
you now have a mishap.
Alright, bring it on.
If you go over to
And-
the where the macros are, we have just a button push for your mishap.
Where are the macros?
There's the macro thing. I'll if you want, I'll press
Should
it.
be
but-
well, no, it's more fun with players. Otherwise, I could just push it. Yeah, see on the top where you have the gear icon, right to the left of that is like 3 lines with like a dotted list.
Hamburger, yes. Okay.
Yeah. On that one, you'll
And
see
what
a
kind
bunch
of mishap is this?
leading the way.
Okay, hold on. Nothing's happening.
I find it easier if you just click the thing to put it in bar, so that way it's always down there. And you click it from there.
Okay, I have clicked on in bar there, and it's all the way over here. Okay.
Landslide.
You must roll move. If you fail, you suffer an attack.
We are just bad at leading the way in this version of the game.
Well, imagine it's a mudslide.
Well,
and
we
what can
all
I do,
get that.
guys?
That's the
You
problem.
saw me roll 8 dice. Alright, so I gotta roll move.
We all do.
That's where I shine.
Hey, I passed on the first try.
Ah,
Holy
damn it.
Shit!
Look out, Bender!
You know, I think the problem here is that I don't push this, so I don't take the agility damage, and then take the damage what I can from the landslide itself, because otherwise if I push, it still fail, the landslide might kill me.
Right.
Frawley, you can push if you wish.
Yes, and if I push, I don't take any damage, and I don't get any willpower unless I had any skulls, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you succeed, but you do take 1 damage, so you get 1 more power. Well, the only one that actually falls. So I'm picturing it like you decide to like hug the edge of the marsh as much as possible as you're getting closer and closer to the forest. But unfortunately, like even the ground where you're on is not super stable, and eventually, like a small like patch just like gives way as you step on it. Most of you are able to get out of the way, but our unfortunately vendor will tumble. Was it 4d6?
Well, it's not that I tumble, it's things are tumbling into me. Yeah, no, 4 dice, and then 1 base weapon damage of trauma.
Well, no extra damage, so you get the 1 base weapon of trauma. I believe that is to your... What does it say? To your...
Strength.
Strength, yeah.
Well, let me roll armor here. I always forget how you roll armor. That's not... What the hell is Habra Adar?
That's one of my guys.
That's
Oh,
a good question.
well, that's what happens when I try clicking the armor button. To me,
What?
it sounds like one of my spells. Habra Adar!
Armor.
There we
What
go.
do you do?
For some reason, it wasn't popping up in the roll field every time I clicked armor. So nothing.
No. And I also think your armor is slightly dented.
No, I didn't push it.
Oh, I thought... Oh, okay, never mind. Okay.
Do you,
I thought that was
Oh,
what
yeah.
happens when you push.
It
no,
is
you're
what
right. I
happens
think
when you
it's still
push.
pushing.
So 1 damage, 2 strength.
Yep.
Man,
So-
guys, I really feel like we need to do a camp or something.
Well, it is now evening. Everything's getting darker.
I feel like we should camp before we actually reach this place.
Oh, I think you're correct. Bender, you've taken quite a beating today.
My body hurts, and I've been hit in the head so much that I feel as smart as the rest of
Well, we can fix that.
I mean, as a man with 6 wits, I really
Go
feel
ahead and rest yourself. And I
Well,
think the
somebody has
rest-
to make camp first, and I'm too dumb to make camp
Okay, so
anymore.
how does one make a camp?
So it's another survival check.
Yeah.
Um,
Survival.
I would be happy to do so.
It's a quarter-day action.
Go for
Make
it.
camp is the official name for it.
Can I assist? I also... Well, actually, I have no points in survival, but...
How does one assist?
I don't think you're actually...
Assisting is just basically +1 die.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I think it's,
Plus
what,
one
a
die.
maximum of 3 people at a time.
Oh, well, why don't... Yeah, well...
Hold on. Make camp is only 1 person. So you can't assist on that.
What, they have a lot of arbitrary rules in this game.
Well, no, there are actions during a hiking event, and this
wait, no,
the journey
I-
thing is a hiking event that only 1 person can do. I don't think...
Oh, I lied. Hold on. Because on the other page it tells you it, because I have like the split on the PDF for me. Yeah. You can assist. Yes, you can.
That's why I was
Awesome.
mentioning earlier that there can only... If you're pathfinding, you can't do anything else. And if you're scouting, you can't do anything else, because those are only single action things.
Yeah,
so this will preclude me hunting or anything else, but I will give you a bonus die.
Well, not Flossie. What is your name again?
It's easy to call him Frosty, because it includes
Frosty,
most of his
there we
name.
go. What's Frosty doing?
What could I be doing? I have a survival of 4 to help out here. Or
why don't you
go hunting if you want?
Or do you want to go hunting?
Well, I don't have any ranged
yeah, it would have to be
weapons.
foraging.
Yeah, there would be the forage stuff, which would be just picking up vegetables
forage.
and shit.
So what skill do you use to forage?
I think it's also survival.
It's
Pretty
also
much
survival.
all of this stuff is
He's
survival.
already rolled, so he's not helping me.
Yeah, the thing is, I'll help you because my survival isn't great, and this way I don't have to roll. I just give you a bonus die.
Huzzah! And I won't even push this time.
All right, so we've made camp.
So you made camp, and Frawley is... Hey, Frawley, you find yourself what looks like a dying blackberry bush. And you grab some of the blackberries from it that are still good, and you have enough here to at least make a tea or a juice out of it.
All right, I can eat that instead of using my food die.
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
And I assume everybody is going to go to sleep?
Yeah, I'll take the first watch because I don't actually have any damage to recover.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Sorry, disregard the second roll. I just was waiting for it to come through. So that's one fail, and I'll push my scout. All right, I did get a success.
Oh, the good news is, I think nothing happens for the night.
Alrighty then. In the morning, into the woods.
Yeah, nothing happens for the night.
Thank the heavens. All right.
You all wake up somewhat refreshed, actually.
Yeah, Vendor's feeling better.
I also want to remind, since I think I reminded Dan every session as well, as a sorcerer, as a magic user, I automatically have sense magic, which is always around. So I can No, I'm just saying because we're about to head into a territory with things.
Should we see this tower before we get there? It's our landmark.
What's weird about is the tower is on 2 different squares, but I would probably say it's like the edge of the water if you want to try that.
Right. We're following the river, so we might know when we get to the tower. Now, it's been, 200 years or so?
Yeah.
About 250.
Okay.
It depends on what you count a generation.
Okay, so the tower is almost definitely collapsed, and if it hasn't collapsed, people may have looted the stone.
Well, pointedly, if it hasn't collapsed, people may have also been maintaining.
Right, so that could also be true. So let's look for it if it's something we would actually know about, know how much of this map is relevant to what we're doing.
Well, that's the thing about the map is that the conceit is that this was a map made either before the Blood Mist or by people during the Blood Mist, which is why it has things on it. The fact that we have to then go there and find out if the thing's still there or not.
Well, we're following the river and we're following the coastline. Maybe we'll see the tower. If we don't see the tower, I won't be heartbroken.
Alright, you want to actually go to this square instead, then?
Well,
no, I think we just want to know if we can spot it on our journey.
Oh, okay, spot it on your journey. I mean, because it is kind of in between.
And we're following... I assume that we're following the river because that's a landmark, so we don't get lost.
Yeah, you are.
Right. Because when we went in open plains, we got lost. Now, also, it's been 200 years, which means the river may have moved. In fact, we encountered both quicksand and a landslide, so the river has
The river is moving.
Yes.
I don't know, arguably we were following the river when we were traveling across the plains and still got lost, so...
Well, I would have to... I would have to assume we somehow lost track of the river to get lost, because if you're following a river and you get lost, then...
Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's one of those where the river is still coming on, but the reeds and heavy foliage grow along the side of the river, making it impossible to follow it directly. And...
Possibly. I mean, it could freeze over, and then snow can grow.
Oh, right, I forgot, it's winter.
Make it hard to see.
As a kid, I explored the woods a lot, and I've been in plenty of those places where I couldn't reach the river because, whatever you call those prickly vine-ass things are growing over all these, reed-type shit to go next to the river, but the river...
I'm waiting for you to point out that there was a lot of prickly stuff, and so I have no idea how you're getting a cart through all of this, but...
I'm just using it as an example that maybe we detracted from the straight side river so that your cart could move.
And also, this looks like it's a drainage basin, so in theory, there could be different paths the river takes, and we could be running into side tributaries and that sort of thing. Once again, here, the ground's clearly unstable. So
you do notice as you are heading closer towards the woods, you do see like the ruins of a derelict tower. It is quite unremarkable. It's basically just like half a stone thing, like hanging up in the sky.
is it swamped, or is there dry land to actually get closer to it?
It's relatively dry land, and you also hear like the faint sound of grunting and shouting.
Oh, great! It's occupied. Do you think we should stop here and see if there's any trade? They might also have information about the woods.
Mouse is just so eager. She's desperate, so she's just like, I just want to go. I want to go.
Okay, well, one thing we could pass through here, but let's keep an eye out to see if they see us, because I'd be worried that when we come back the other way, they would try to attack us. But all right, press on.
All right, who's leading the way?
If we're doing path finding again.
Yep.
I'm smart again. I can do this. Didn't mean to ping. I clicked too far off of my own one screen. God damn it. You guys can see how much dice I have.
Yeah. Froley, do you want to do the scouting?
All right. For both my dice.
Got it on the second one. I mean, I would be less put off by this if not for the fact I have no output for my willpower yet.
Well, scouting ain't gonna help you. You will spend time here. Hold on a second. Nothing happens, but you do spend some time, and then eventually you see it. Deep in the forest, you spend like a quarter of the day just searching. This is around the area that supposedly there's something found. And eventually, you know what? Eventually, Vendor actually spots it. It's covered in nothing but moss, but you notice like what looks like red bricks, like stacked on top of each other, like made out of
fired bricks,
like made out of fired clay,
or possibly peat bricks. But
cannot really tell from here.
Hey, they're not quarried stone, so I'm not surprised.
Does it look like the entrance to a subterranean structure?
Yes, you see what looks like a cave, but the cave itself is quite elaborate.
Well, we haven't gone inside yet.
And deeper in where it's like pitch black, you make out what looks like a door.
Wow. Like wood, stone, steel?
Wood.
Brass?
Ooh.
It is far enough away that perhaps it was far enough away from the weather. Well, this is certainly a find, and the fact that the door is still intact is an excellent sign.
And I guess we'll explore it next week, because
I don't think we were followed, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
It's also 10 minutes before the game ends. We gotta do end of game notes now.
Yeah, the XP system of the game.
Huzzah!
Congratulations, you survived.
Ha! I almost miseried away.
Well, I mean, when we give you 5 days to die, and it's pretty hard.
Well, it was random rolled those 5 days, to be fair.
Right, but I mean, we should have been able to make him.
I have any Rollmaster flashbacks if you fall into a coma. This game is way too forgiving. If this was Rollmaster, I'd be dead.
Are you mad it's too forgiving? We'll talk about it in a second.
Let's go down the XP chart real quick.
So now here's how XP is done. It's actually a little bit reminiscent of Ironclaw. So I have 10 questions for you all. Are you ready?
Ready.
First, did you participate in the session?
Yes.
Everybody gets 1 XP just for being here.
Where do I mark that?
There's a box
experience is below willpower.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Number 2, did you travel through at least one hex on the game map that you have not visited before?
Yes.
Which you did many times. You get 1 XP for that.
Which, if you had any question, why we do the red pins.
I like it.
Did you discover a new adventure site? You did.
2.
Yeah.
You get 1 XP for that. Did you defeat 1 or more monsters?
Hey!
We did!
Beat the shit out of him, and then made him into bread.
You get 1 XP for that.
Gross!
Did you find a treasure worth 1 gold or more?
Yes.
No.
No.
I don't think
Yes.
Yes.
The necklace
Wait, what was
worth
it?
1 gold or more?
The chainmail was worth 1 gold or more.
Oh, wow, okay.
Is that for everybody or
That's
just
for all
the
of us?
person who
As a
got it?
group, we found it. Doesn't say who kept it.
Yeah, that's as a group. So you get the XP for that. So first half, 5 XP.
By the
Not
way,
bad.
all during the session, I have a notepad open with these things tracking XP. It's my version of goal tracking in Ironclaw. What do I do?
Of course you do.
What do I get XP?
Number 6, did you build a function in your stronghold? That would be a
No.
no.
It'll
No, we
stay
don't even have a
still long
stronghold.
enough. Yeah, no, the problem is it requires enough resources to start building it, and it takes a week. And at low level, you're encouraged to travel more than you are to
So
do
we
anything
need
else.
henchmen before we have a stronghold.
You have to purchase them as well.
There's
eventually.
a reason why I'm a sorcerer who has all these abilities to make people sick.
Oh, by the way, 7 and 8, I don't believe anybody did either. Did anybody activate their pride or suffer from their dark secret?
Excuse me. But my dark secret is you compulsively steal valuables you catch sight of. I did that, and I got punished for it. So I would say yes.
I'll give that to you for sure.
Okay.
Red.
I'm fine. I'm free of dark.
You have no dark secrets?
No, it didn't happen to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mine didn't come up either.
All right.
I sometimes just drink to chase away the memories, but I didn't have any money to drink, so I don't think that really counted.
Too broke to be alcohol.
I mean, again, the point of the thing is you have to suffer from it.
Right,
And
and
Red did
and nobody
suffer
brought
from
it up,
his.
so yeah,
Right
Yeah,
now is an agreement that
It did not come up, unfortunately.
right.
Did you risk your life for another player character?
yes.
I mean, all of you did.
We all
I would
kind of did,
say.
right?
Yeah.
For Soldnik, and
If not in the combat, then every time we had a landslide or quicksand or something that we helped the other person.
Yeah.
I'll give you all that one then. Did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind?
I didn't.
No.
I haven't done anything crazy.
I don't think so.
I would say no.
I mean, I stood at a distance and whacked something that, like I said, is a man but less. I can't take credit for that.
Well,
Where
I mean,
would I
last
be?
time we were running around, we decided to try and define extraordinary. Every time we defined it, it was something you would see like in an action movie or something.
Yeah, I mean, come on. It was like I keep pointing out, it's like, so there's a skinny guy and we beat the crap out of him. It's a living skeleton. It's a skinny guy. It's the skinniest guy. I'm not impressed.
All right, no XP for that one. So tally up your total number. I think everybody is getting at least 6.
6
And
Yeah.
for us,
6.
7 for Red.
yeah, not bad.
I am drowning in experience points.
Are you?
All right,
I
what
am.
do we,
Because I didn't spend any this session.
Well, yeah,
What
we've
do
only
we
been
do
playing
with
2
experience
sessions, though.
points?
Yeah, I know. But
Hold
I have 11. I had 5 last time. I
Hold on.
guess.
What was your question, Norman?
What do you do with experience points?
You can pay for getting more marks and skills or talents.
The main thing I usually see is talents. You can spend 3 to get like the first tier of a talent, but you also have to make a wits roll and succeed in order to learn it on your own. Otherwise, you have to pay a teacher, and that teacher has to have the talent you're trying to train in. 1
Okay.
silver and a quarter a day, and they'll teach you that talent. And it's basically incremental, so if you're trying to go from tier 1 to tier 2, it's 6 XP.
So you spend the 3 XP, and if you fail the roll, you lose the XP.
No, you keep the XP. You just
Huh.
wasted a quarter of the day trying to learn it.
Okay.
And
So-
again,
so-
if you want
but-
tier 2, it's 6, and if you want tier 3, it's 9.
So leveling up is training and takes time.
Yes.
okay.
Quarter of the day only, though.
Right, but it means we don't do it between sessions. We have to, when we get back to the session, I have to specifically say,
Correct.
I'm going to train.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has to be a quarter of the day that we all want to give up.
Right. Okay. This we'll worry about that later.
And
You should have more than Red, by the way, is what I was going to say. If you had 5 before and you have 7 now, you should have 12.
huh?
Oh,
said
no,
you
I guess I
said
had
I
less
must have
than
had
that.
5 before, because I only had 3, and I just got 7,
No.
so I have 10. No,
No,
so I
that
have
makes
9.
sense.
I have 9.
I was just incrementing them as we went through. I have 11. So whatever I had before that,
Right.
I
It's
guess.
additive.
And again, I want to
Four.
remind you, you can use experience to also beef up skills.
And that's really what I'm thinking of doing, honestly. I think I want to start dropping stuff in survival since we use survival a lot, and I don't have any.
Yeah,
There's
I started with
skill-
1.
But the thing
There's-
is, skills is...
More expensive.
Yeah.
It's
they're
multiplied by 5. So learning a skill at level 1 costs you 5. And then it goes up for level 2, it's 10. Level 3, it's 15.
How much does it
talents can
cost
be
to
more
buy up
alluring,
your
though.
How much does it cost to buy up your attributes?
You can't.
You can't buy up attributes at all.
Okay.
At all. The only way those go up is with certain equipment
But the
items.
thing is that there's like talents that turn leading the way. roll into a rest roll as well. So the mere act of traveling from one hex to another and rolling it will reduce your attributes if you had any damage.
Neat.
That's a tier 1. I think that's one called pathfinding. So the talents, even though they give you less than saying having multiple marks and skills, are very good as well.
Yeah.
And each of the talents is 3?
A tier 1 talent, it would be 3, but you also have to pass the wits roll, which is also a quarter day action, or you can find a teacher and pay them money, which you'd probably steal back from them right after you're done.
Yeah, I'm not doing any of that right now, but for now, yes, this is good.
My problem is that when I want to learn my magic stuff, I have to find one from a magic teacher, and if I can't or don't, it costs me double experience to try and learn it on my own.
So we have to find a magic teacher.
Well, I'm counting on just learning it on my own, because it seems unlikely, because the magic I want to learn is evil.
Is what?
Evil.
Oh, evil magic? Well, the problem is anybody who knows evil magic is not someone, like our favorite joke. Remember, kids, evil can strike at any time. Like right now, think fast!
Right. I mean, it's about finding that evil person, convincing them to then teach me the magic. It's like, I'm just going to book on having to learn it on my own. I have 6 wits. What's that?
Do you need materials for that, or you just learn on your own?
Just learn it on my own. That's why it costs double the experience.
So you're just going to sit around thinking about how to be evil?
Well, see, I already have tier 1 in it, so I'm looking for tier 2, which would be 6 experience, but it was going to cost double. It's going to cost me 12 experience to get to the level 2 magic that I want.
Okay.
No, I'm going to level with you. What my goal here is that I have the builder, I have a high crafting score. I'm going to build strongholds, and instead of hiring hirelings, I'm going to staff them with undead.
Does that work?
Yeah, because the undead have...
I checked, it can work.
So instead of paying people who have to stay around there and require upkeep and constant money, I'll just have the undead staffing my strongholds. I'll have various necromantic strongholds.
Are they reliable?
Yeah.
Okay. I would think the problem would be that, they...
Here, you know me, Raph.
I also know you, so if they're reliable, you'd still do it.
Well, the thing is that I can make them more and more reliable, depending on how much power I put into the spell, which is why I'm a half-elf, which means every willpower I spend is double the power level of the spell, which means I can make some pretty strong undead pretty quickly, and it's just I'm sitting here at full willpower because I have no outlet.
But first we have to piss you off and making you fail a lot of skills.
Again, I have full willpower because I've been failing a lot, and I have no outlet to spend it on because all I can do is, again, I'm a real good siege artist. I can ruin all your food and contaminate all your land with the virulent diseases.
Well, we'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's nothing I would do right now because...
But, thanks for inviting me to the game. So it was definitely an experience.
I definitely want to... Well, I do want to, real quick before everybody goes, just standard debriefing thoughts. Is pacing good? Are you enjoying yourselves? Is anything that needs to change or improve? What do you think?
I'm having fun. I think there was definitely a moment today during our journey where we got kind of deadlocked in that mode of we can't progress because we're afraid of taking permanent damage, but we're also going to be stuck here for days on end. But maybe that's something that will get alleviated as we level up and take more and, figure out what things we need to do to get survival down. Like leaving with full rations and stuff.
I mean, yeah, and also, I'm not sure, but it seems like you're more likely to run into mishaps if you're being active than if you're being passive. Because when we stood in a place for long periods of time, I don't know if this is just the way the random rolls came up, but a bunch of harmless people came by to talk to us. Whereas when we actually go do things, if we try to do something and fail to score any successes at all, which is a pretty large possibility on some rolls, something bad happens to you. So it almost feels like you get your action is more dangerous than passive.
But to counterpoint, I know that the book says whenever you enter a new hex, that the GM is supposed to roll for a random encounter. And I feel like also when we stay in a hex too long, the GM is incentivized to roll for a random encounter. And since it's entirely random, it can seem like
Yeah.
Those things. But at the same time, as you pointed out, there are a lot of mishap tables. And even some of those mishap tables have nothing happens on them. So
Okay. I mean, like I was saying, it's random, so I don't know, but it did feel like that. And that's a problem with some old school gaming where you feel like you're punished more for being active than passive. And that's what causes like the deadlock, the huge passivity. I don't want to do anything that's good. I don't want to do anything that's going to get me killed. So I'll choose to do nothing, because if I choose to do nothing and something comes along and kills me, that's not my fault. Whereas if I do something and it gets me killed, that would be my fault. So many people will choose the deadlock.
Well, the problem is that we have a goal, which is move forwards. Because, I don't mean like thematically we have a goal, like just keep rolling forwards. I mean, like we want to get from point A to point B, which means that we thematically have to make the choice, move one hex forwards, move one hex forwards.
If we don't move, we'll eventually starve to death.
Yes.
So
I was going to say that too. Yeah, we can't.
The
passivity is also. God, well, I can't remember.
Right, but I mean,
choosing not to make, you still have made a choice.
Right, I mean that's where that's when we were arguing. I kept saying we should move so we don't get stuck here, and then I kept hearing no, we have to stay. I was like, well, okay, I guess we have to stay. You're the ones running out of food.
all the random encounters, the beggars. First off, I think I screwed up on that, but it was kind of pointless because they were just walking by anyway. But like the cairn, that was random. Finding the house was random.
Yeah.
All that is, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to like make it match thematically to where you are and everything.
Yeah, which you should be.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
That's usually
doing a
why
good job with it.
Yeah, that's usually why I personally object to random encounters, because when a GM says, "Well, that's what the dice came up with," it's like, if I just wanted a random procedural game, I have a huge roguelike list sitting behind me. It's supposed to be a little. No, actually, now that I think about it, we did run into certain random places, and they weren't all dangerous. I mean, we found a dead Rust brother, we found a empty house, and there was like nothing major, but at least there was loot. So yeah, no, I think this is working out okay.
And pointedly, when I was talking about we need to stay here and we need to camp, I don't want to use the word action economy, but we have basically 4 steps in a day, and we only have so many steps to hunt food, collect food, recover from our injuries and whatnot. So it's not so much, this is so dangerous we have to move. When I was arguing, it was, our action economy is 4. I've measured out at least 3 steps we have to take. I don't think we have time to move right now.
Well, at least there's an assist rule, which didn't come up until later, which is we don't have to send one person foraging, we can send 2 people.
Well, 2 people have more of a chance to get more successes, which will come back with more food, versus getting a +1 die, which would only give you, at most, 1.
But we can devote 2 people to setting up camp, etc. So.
And there's cases too where like people with incredibly small dice pools can still be useful to help someone with a larger dice pool.
I would rather go with someone and give them a bonus die than necessarily just roll for myself on some of these things that I suck at.
Especially when you've already taken a bunch of damage and you wouldn't want to be pushing your rolls anyway.
Yes, because you can injure yourself extremely quickly in this game.
Yeah, I mean, there's arguments for doing anything, right? So
right. I'm glad there's a provision for it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I usually feel torn when I'm in these games where I have to wonder, like, are we gamery or are we trying to be simulationists? Because sometimes I wonder about that, because sometimes I'll like say, well, realistically or even historically, people would do this, and I'll get told, well, it's a game, so shut up. Okay. So,
I mean, you know me, I'm gamery.
Right.
I love the simulation aspect because I do love to bring in the elements of what makes the most logical sense here, and where can we get the most logical sense? Historical facts. At the same time, though, I'm still going to take the mechanics of the game, which tells me how the game plays, and I'm going to make all of my decisions based on the mechanics of the game.
Right, and that's one of the problems when you're playing old school, because old school wanted to, had left a lot of things that people will say to the imagination. But no, what they really meant was it left a lot of things open to a specific simulation. They didn't include beta corbins and lucerne hammers in the book and not tell you what those were, because they wanted you to imagine what those were. They assumed you'd be playing a game that has a certain level of,
realism.
A certain level, like an old school game is usually supposed to be a lot more desperate and less accommodating. Like the concept of the weapon shop, very much a modern video game. It's not an you don't find weapon shops in old school games. They didn't exist.
Just Final Fantasy.
Right. But a lot of people play computer games. So like when we stopped in like the town, we're asking like, would we have free access to water? I'm giving you lots of excuses of why you wouldn't have free access to water. You know, there would be jerks. There would be people like you. I think Rob brought up the idea that they might extort payment from us for the mere act of doing it, and sanitation. Like, these are all things, but I don't want to bring these kinds of things up if we're not doing that.
It really bookends my argument with, we need to make a stronghold, but unfortunately it takes a long time to make a stronghold. Specifically, I have to go out and I have to start chopping wood, or a lot of us have to go start chopping wood for a long period of time, and then spend a week constructing even a cabin to be the start of a stronghold.
Well, you'd also need to have land that you could have title or at least defend.
Doesn't matter here. Remember, this is land that's been sitting out here for 250 years unclaimed.
Yeah,
the history of
the
history of the territory. Yeah, the defend.
It's more defend, less claim.
Yeah, the book even says you can make a stronghold anywhere, or you can repurpose an old dungeon as one, and you can build multiples of them across the landscape. It's all about staffing, repair, all the other stuff that the book says is the more important bit. Otherwise, this is just free territory.
Well, yes, but if we try to build a fortress within sightline of whatever that tower was, we might run into trouble.
Well, again, in the instance of the book, the book is probably say, hey, just clear out the tower, rebuild it, and that's your fortress.
Right. So, it's an interesting game. Like I said, I already was intrigued by the idea that you have. I mean, I think it's a little weird that you have to push a roll to get willpower points, because it means I'm going to have to go out of my way to push rolls and injure myself. It's not as deadly as it sounds, so maybe I have to work on it a little bit. I am a little underwhelmed by my special abilities because half of them cost willpower points.
Well, only one should cost willpower points, and then your kin talent, rather. So I guess, technically half, sorry. Right, you only had 4.
Yeah.
Your kin talents do, and your abilities from your career do, but there is a whole load of general talents that
and also
everybody can take that do not have willpower components.
Well, there's also talents that require like certain situations. Like, for example, I'd have to manipulate someone to use sharp tongue. Right. And the weird part is, so it's a special ability that if I manipulate someone, I can do damage to them.
To their empathy, which I don't think has a kill component to it. And you can't manipulate somebody to death. You can break them, though. Well,
you can manipulate someone until they're broken, but that's a little weird to me, because I'm thinking, well, if I've successfully manipulated you, I'm kind of done. Why do I need to break you at the same time?
Well, I guess it's, if you imagine D&D, like what's the bard thing, where they say something at you and you have a negative D4 to your thing. It's your.
But this isn't that. This is, I can talk to an NPC, or presumably a PC.
Right, but the name of it is Sharp Tongue, so obviously you're like bullying them, you're insulting them down, using that through the skill manipulation, which is a.
I'm not disagreeing with you on how it works. I'm disagreeing on the utility of it. It's not something
If you're trying to break somebody, again, if you're trying to bully somebody down, having them broken before you would be very effective.
But if I win a manipulation roll, I get what I want anyway, right?
There is I brought this up earlier. There is a social conflict system, which is more than just you rolling a die.
Yeah.
Well, there's a social conflict.
I can't remember what page it was off because I was only looking it up at the time.
Well,
hold on, I'll look.
It's and if the social conflict system lets you do damage to people, then this ability is kind of silly.
No, I don't believe it does.
Page 98 for social conflict.
The other one that I was curious about is we never did a forced march. What the hell is a forced march?
If you try to go further than the amount that we were doing per day.
Okay, because I have a special ability that gives me a bonus to do a forced march, but we're never doing that.
Right.
Maybe we should be.
Well, here's the thing: is I guess you could, and we could all sit in your cart. Well, no, your cart can only hold 2 people. Right.
I mean, so it's an ability that I can't really.
You remember how you wanted a random character?
Well, no, I agree with you. Like I said I want to. If you're asking, you asked for the debrief.
I'm just saying there's only one talent in the talent list which has no use, and it's a combat one, which is I think pain is pleasure or something like that. because those rules are an optional rule. Otherwise, every other talent in there has a use. It's just, as you say, they're only situational.
I mean, I guess I should level some of these up. I mean, this was a debriefing, so I'm looking at some of the things that I had.
I'm just answering with thoughts. That's all right. Don't mean to be.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you run into this where some of these are like, highly situational.
Well, what's the Iron Claw one where if everybody has it, it's a great gift.
Veteran?
No. I mean, like, it works together, like pack of...
Oh, Esprit de Corps.
Well, Esprit de Corps would be a good example, too. If everybody had it, it'd be good, but it's a buy-in, you have to sell everyone on. If everyone has your Forced March talent, then it's good, because everyone has it, so we're all going to Forced March.
In Iron Claw, you cannot in any way start with Esprit de Corps.
Right. No, I'm just saying that if you had, hey, I think you all should have Forced March, I have it, it would allow us to get there faster. You'd be like, okay, that's a sell-in. I'm buying in on where you're selling.
It's an ability I started with that in order to use it, I have to get all of you to agree with it.
Or what if we were all in a coma and you were the only one up, which is not an impossible to believe
I'd be
scenario.
leaving some of you behind, so that's easy.
Well, one of us. You should only be leaving one of us behind. You have a cart that can carry 2 people. Otherwise, you're an asshole.
Right, but, I mean... Yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm expressing my misgivings about stuff like that. I mean, I'm still willing to play the game. It's just like I'm just pointing out some of this stuff is
a little off.
It's got that fiddly stuff to it where they came like it's not that the ability is bad. It's just like I mean, I couldn't convince us to move out of a hex, much less do a forced march.
Well, I think the scenario I'm trying to paint is one where we have to force march, and we're all taking a negative for it, and you're not, because you're good for it, and we were ill-prepared.
I mean, you're saying the ability is not useless, and I'm agreeing with you. What I'm saying is it's highly... Some of these abilities are highly situational, to the point where if, there are other abilities I could take for the same cost that would give a better return.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this is a good academic point for this particular thing, but while we're talking about that, I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, we should all grab that talent and Forced March, because we could cover more ground that way.
Oh, I'm not.
Right, I mean, and there's the huge problem. That is the problem. Like Data's giving here, it would be useful if we all had it.
I said I pre-pointed out that if we had to, like, if one of us is about to die, we got to get to that town today to save their lives.
Right.
As an example, you're good, you have it. The rest of us are having to roll and suffer through a forced march.
if we separated the party, yes, it would be useful.
Well, you wouldn't even have to separate it.
We might have to separate, because if someone fails on their Forced March, they don't move anyway. So if we're moving as a group and not everyone's making their rolls successfully, it would be a moot point.
Yeah, and it's also it's +1 die, which is also the possibility of rolling an extra skull.
I mean, I also again want to point out though that this is a random rolled character. If you were making this character yourself, you would point this out at the character creation standpoint and not buy it.
I agree that it's a random rolled character, but it's.
You're pointing out that this particular ability only works with total buy-in from a group, or in very specific
There's a couple abilities on the sheet that seem to have like bizarre, like for example, Path of Gold, which is my ability to. I know why they did it this way, because they hate haggling. Role-playing games hate haggling. Path of Gold is I can spend a willpower point to decrease the price of a single item by 20%. But I have to have willpower points to do that. The only way to get willpower points is by hurting myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why you can also push rolls.
You can also exactly like I don't think I'm that bothered by it, because you can push and still succeed. Like you can take that damage and still succeed at what you're trying to do, which is different than like the Torchbearer approach, which is like, oh yes, you get to mark this stuff off when you fail these rolls, which is just encouraging you to throw rolls. Also, we're not doing rolls very often, and when we do, they're super important.
Right. I mean, it's better than Torchbearer, but it's also like the only way I can get this to work is I need to stockpile willpower.
Plus, you also heal basically at the end of the day. So
yeah, for me, yeah, like that the damage in this game is so dynamic. Like you're taking damage often, but you're also healing damage up, at least in this journey phase of the game. They're going up
They
and
are
down all the
pretty
time.
generous with the recovery, which is good.
It's vastly
Yeah.
different in combat. You're pushing in combat, you're pushing against stats which are then possibly going to kill you when you get hit back. So, in the overworld and doing everything else, you wanna push as much as possible, rest up before you do something you think is going to be risky, and then go in.
Well, there is a bit of a paradox, because if you go into combat and try to melee things, that's strength. So if you because you roll more dice, you're more likely to get more skulls. Then if you push a strength roll, you're more likely to get strength damage. But strength's also your hit points in combat to keep you from dying.
Yep. Well,
right, but your
a
ranged
certain
one
kind of
is
dying.
also agility. You can be ranged and be pushing your agility and then using your strength as hit points. It's all what you choose to do.
Well,
the other thing too is that
strength, when people would do damage to you, is always go off your strength.
It depends. I mean, monsters can have abilities that'll.
Most monsters when they just do standard attacks, it's strength, but then they also have things that hit will primarily as the other major one.
Right, because they can scare the shit out of you.
Or wits.
Wits. A fear attack will do wits, and then there's a horror crit table, which can make you have a hard time sleeping for a number of days, where you have to make a roll to try and sleep. Nightmares, I believe, as well. Or they can make you an alcoholic, where you'll take damage for not drinking.
So it's a little dangerous, but I guess it's not that dangerous, because when you push, skulls on skill dice don't count towards pain, right?
Yeah, the skill dice can't roll skulls. You also can roll all skulls in one success and you still succeed, and if it wasn't a push roll, you take no damage. So the push mechanic means that you never have to take damage.
It's a little dangerous to push a melee combat roll, but not that dangerous if you knew what you were doing. And also, it's basically just telling you, it's dangerous to push a melee combat, so don't do it.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Or maybe do it if the damage that you're trying... If the alternative is you're going to be taking
if the alternative would be worse, push the roll.
Plus, pushing won't kill you. The monster will kill you. But again, as we've already shown,
can't take critical...
the monster is also doing random stuff.
Yeah, monsters do random stuff. No, it's an interesting game, and I can see why you guys like it. It definitely has a lot more... I joked that it's like Rollmaster and the fact that I fell into a coma almost immediately, but it's way more forgiving than Rollmaster's comas, because Rollmaster's comas are fucked.
I should point out, I posted a whole sheet on social conflict in the handout section if you want to check that out for the rules. Basically, it's you can if it is a situation where there might be combat or something, you can talk your way out of it. Basically,
right?
That's offering.
And this looks good. That's why I was questioning, why would I really, why is it so important for me to do attribute damage to people in the middle of a combat? And also, the average attribute's 3, right?
Also, again, if you break them, the effect of breaking them makes them do things. Right,
but
we covered that before. Hold on, I've got the other window open.
But in order to break you, I'd have to do this multiple times, because if the average
3 successes on.
No, 4. It's every after the first. Okay, so I'd have to score 4. I would have to score successes, which by the way is astronomical.
How much empathy did your last character have, Robert?
He had 5.
Right, and you had 3 manipulation.
I had 3 marks in the skill for manipulation.
Right, so you had a total of 8 dice. Which,
if you have 8 dice, then the odds of you rolling 4, you're still below 1% chance of rolling 4 successes.
Also, apparently, looking at the broken effects, doing that to them is basically like a taunt.
No, I agree with you that breaking them would be useful. The problem is I would have to use this on someone twice to do it.
Well, you're assuming that they're not a 2 empathy person.
Average, even
depends on age. Also, what the average is, because older people have less attributes.
Congratulations! I made old people and children cry.
No, technically, a child would have more attribute points, so it'd be harder to make a child cry than an old person.
Okay, in other words, we're having this weird debate of, yes, I agree with you that it has utility. The problem I'm saying is, it's so situational when I could have taken something else like magic power instead.
You couldn't, actually. A peddler can never have magic.
Well, I could have picked a different class. We're going back to the D&D thing of where people would tell me, Rafferty, you're an idiot. Only idiots play fighters.
You're you know what? So I have a quick question for Rob. Rob, if I was in the situation with, I should remember his name, Relian or whatever, the Godfather.
Yeah, you could have done...
I had this ability and I did break him, what would that have looked like? Would I have gotten out of there scot-free, perhaps?
You would have gotten out of there probably with a much less restrictive contract.
I wanted to point out again that breaking someone's empathy, the text is, you must either explode in violent outburst, kicking and breaking everything around you, or withdraw from everyone around you.
Yeah, so I guess it's a risk.
So yeah,
maybe he would have just tried to kill me.
He would have gotten so pissed off he'd attack you, or he would have retreated from you hurt.
He could have walked away in shame, or he'd just be so angry he punches one of his guards.
It's a special ability that might provoke a berserker rage. Yay?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, it depends on who you're talking to.
Imagine, I'm sure you can imagine where that would be useful.
I can imagine where it might be useful. I'm arguing from the position of it's so of marginal utility that I probably wouldn't want to do it in a large number of occasions. I would rather have something else. I mean, that's what I keep getting at. There are other things. It doesn't seem like it's worth as much as other abilities, as much as Lucky. Lucky kicks ass.
Lucky
rank
is
2 gives you a +1 if you insult your opponent, and rank 3 gives you a D8 artifact die, so you get a bonus die you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, so in other words, it's a special ability to make me an asshole.
Well, and you don't need a special ability for that, Raph.
And it doesn't necessarily...
I feel like it really fills in on the manipulation aspect of any time you've seen a character in a television show or a movie who is like, I'm the good guy, they're attacking me all the time, and then whispers some asshole thing in the ear, and they attack the person, and then, everybody look, the guy's attacking me!
But I can't... If you break someone, I can't choose what they do when they're broken. You were just saying I could, and I
Right,
can't.
yeah, but I'm just saying, it's just an example. Having them break down and cry is also fun.
Well, except I can't. That's not what happens. You said if someone's empathy goes to 0, they either flee or they go berserk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it could go multiple ways. I do think that your point is valid, Raph. That this is mechanically speaking, this is definitely not. I feel like this game is probably riddled with similar things that are just like, oh, this is just objectively better. I mean, if we're just looking at skills, it seems like survival is objectively more useful.
That when I'm arguing back or whatever I'm doing, I'm not saying your point is invalid. I'm just saying that things have uses. I also want to point out you random rolled your character. I don't know that you can dispute.
No. I also wanted. I am taking this because it's a random character. It's just because old school to me also was rise to the challenge of playing a less than desirable character. They always say that in those books. Like, did you not get what you wanted? Play it anyway. I just thought these were Forbidden Lands has made some good progress. I think it is a much better modernized rethinking of the old school. I do feel like the survival elements are there. I do like the pushing rule that allows me to risk stuff. I think there's just a little more. Some things still strike me as needlessly complex, and like the initiative system is just goofy.
Because we're drawing 1 to 10, basically.
You don't need. I mean, I will argue up and down. You don't need segmented initiative. All it does is just confuse the party order. Although maybe when we get in a fight with multiple people, it'll be a little more interesting. And also, there's some of the weirder things, like the zones thing really bugs me. It's like the zones bugs me because they also have reach. It's like, don't have arm's reach and don't have arm's length and reach and that kind of micromanaged level of distance. And say, oh, by the way, you're all in the same zone.
Well, that's what I was trying to point out during it, that zones also have cover and concealment aspects built into them, which is then where the reach and stuff comes into play, that depending on what cover and concealment is in play, that you have to then be within those reaches, which is then when the movement comes into play, that run and crawl can only get you within a certain number of reach zones versus zones themselves.
Can I stand behind someone and strike at someone in... can I stand behind Frosty and strike at the person in front of them? Right, but I mean, does the game recognize that's something we would actively want to do? Or are we making this up?
No, it's cover, yeah. Page 105, typical cover, and...
Okay. Because one of the problems we might run into is that if we got into a skirmish with people, there might be some people who are at reach and some people who are at arm's length. And if you're using a zone, I'm not sure how you define that.
Yeah, I was confused by that too, but I think in this case they're using zones as basically just a set of environmental tags that apply to people within that
I'm
zone.
fine with, but if they were going to do that, don't do arm's length and reach.
Again, keep in mind that while I keep explaining what zones mean to the game and everything, I don't like zones either. I tried
like
it with the Fallout game, and you see it on a map, and it is horrible, because like, I'm standing right next to the guy. Yeah, but he's on the border of the other zone, and you're in this zone. It's like, I'm standing right next to the guy.
Yeah, I'm okay with zone theory, but it would have to be more abstract than it is. You can't have both this level of concrete and this level of abstract. You gotta pick one of those.
I think
my experience has been more abstracted. It was just my experience with zones was more abstracted and a little bit easier. So this one you kind of have to keep multiple abstract distances in your head, which was kind of... I definitely don't think that playing with a battle map helps.
Do you want me to kill the battle map then?
Well, when we did it last time when Dan was around, Dan just threw up like auras around the creature. It had those represent zones of range or something like that, which now that I think about it, I don't think is actually the rules of the game either.
I don't like that either because it just confuses people. Because people want to look at the map to know where they are. Like, Ark would look at the map and say, like, oh, well, I could, like, backstab him. Or, like, oh, well, can I hit him because this guy's in the way of me? And it's like, well, if we abstract this mechanically, there's no reason why you would have to worry about shooting through your friend, because the rules don't even consider that as a possibility.
And even though we joke about how D&D was full of polearms, but D&D full of polearms, which meant that, and they would speak of something called the marching order, where you'd have tanks in front and then people behind them. And sometimes you had people behind them who had fucking polearms, who could reach 2 squares and stab things that the frontline guys were shielding up and buffering the damage for, and then later you could flip off and that kind of stuff, which is a huge component of old school gaming, because these guys were miniatures gaming and did that. And if you're going to invoke that with the idea that weapons have reach and facing and that kind of stuff, I mean, you know me, I'm a big fan of don't call up what you can't put down. Don't have the concept of weapon reach, and then, by the way, we won't be using it.
Right,
because that means, and of course there's the weird thing that everyone points out where I have a staff. Like, it's a walking staff. I have it out. It's a staff. It's out.
You gotta draw your weapon, right?
But you have to draw it before combat begins because the rulebook said you have to draw it. Even though it's a staff, I have it out.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's not your fault. That's why I said gamery type stuff, because the game, usually it's on my back, held there by magnets, right? Because that's how weapons are.
Well, I mean, it could be in your hand, I guess, and you're unprepared to use it, like an Ironclaw initiative roll.
I mean, that's why Ironclaw even phrases it by saying, this is if you're caught with your pants down. That's why Ironclaw said if you pass the initiative test, just pull your, say what weapons you have out. That's why we did it that way in that game. Because if you fail the initiative, it's like you're caught with your pants down. By the way, stop sucking. That's why we did it that way, because we just say don't roll badly. But yeah, no, I mean it's not that huge of a deal. It's just like, once again, I always talk about gamery versus narrative logic. It's like I'm not stowing that, and it's one of the huge advantages of things like staves, because you can just walk around with them out, or canes.
Again, I took the turn before you, and I literally said what you said before you said it.
Yeah. So
I imagine my old dude's walking with a cane. I don't know why I'm pulling it out now, but I respect the action economy, so I'm pulling my cane out.
Well,
and I don't come to an old school game for action. I mean, it's also like, on the one hand, if I'm supposed to lump it that the game is going to be random and unfair and strained, I also don't want the game to be incredibly crunchy. Otherwise, I'd be playing rollback.
One of these days, you got to roll roadmap.
That's true. I can't speak for Rob. If I was running this, I think that I would be fine with saying, like, hey, anything that you're carrying in your hand is just readied. I think that we've done adjustments like that too on the fly so far.
I'm an unforgiving guy who kills those party all the time, so
yeah,
people don't go to my games anymore.
The way most people play the game anyway, everyone has their weapons out all the time anyway. So,
Well, I mean, in this one, that's fair. Why not? We're wandering the wilderness 90% of the game anyway.
We're wandering the... Right, and when something approaches you, it's like you can... I mean, that's also a thing that never seems to come up is posture. Like, when a bunch of people come up to us, like, you know, we might say, okay, they're coming up to parley. Everyone put your weapons away so we don't look scary. And then if a fight broke out, we would have to pull our weapons out.
But that's a very interesting approach.
Well, that's
but
also
I would also
what
say,
the scout roll is for in this, is that you
right,
can see
I was going to say
coming.
that.
Yeah.
Plus, there's
sort of
actually
like
talents that give
posture.
you bonuses for being ambushed and stuff as well to those
Right,
scout rolls.
because like that's a huge problem when I play a game like D&D, because it would be like, okay, a fight breaks out, everyone's all geared up. Apparently, we had our weapons up the whole time.
Yep. I mean, that's something that I struggle with a lot when I'm running games, is specifically not wanting to punish players by saying, oh yes, the fight is beginning and this is the state of readiness that you're in just because it is.
Well, that's why...
But as a player, I would say that, like, if we were standing around a pile of rocks and a dead body, and the dead body got up and started swinging a sword at us, I would say, yeah, I don't think I had my dagger out, because I was not expecting that to happen.
And I usually side on the idea of, like, siding with... Because you see modern games side with the players. Like, if you watch Dungeons & Dragons, it goes from taking a full minute to get out a sword to D&D 5, which is poof, your sword is in your hand whenever you want. It's not even an action anymore.
Well, again, I want to pointedly put out there that I think we failed that scout roll, so we never saw the thing coming. Plus, It wasn't while we were all standing around it. It was while we dug it up, we took its clothes off, then took a nap, and while we were taking a nap, the dude crawled out. And no one saw it coming.
Night later.
No, I could see that. So that I'm cool with that. So yeah, no, I really think I don't think a lot of games do a lot of effort in describing the social considerations of weapons. Like Iron Claw is one of the few games that where they label, this is a gun. It's labeled illegal because if you have this gun, it's so dangerous that people will look at you funny. Whereas every time I'm in a D&D or an old school game, it's like, oh yeah, you guys wander around with swords wherever you want. People just, they're fine with that.
I think the Thieves Town of that Thieves Guild of that last town would have been all over Arkloid's character. That dude has a broadsword made of iron. That's worth like 20 gold.
Well, I'm not
Somebody
saying just
should steal it from him. He's been waving it around all this time.
I'm not saying just because they would steal it. I'm also talking about, hey, 4 people wandered into town wearing armor and carrying weapons-grade swords. They look suspicious.
Right, I'm just putting it in context of what's happened to us in this game.
Right, and that's one of the things that always, like when I'm talking about old school type gaming, that's one of the things that bothers me about it is, like, suspicion is not a concept. That if you look at the older ones where they had, like, the reaction tables in D&D, where people would meet you and it says, okay, they have antipathy or be neutral, they'd have those written out. They write in the text of those, they said, like, okay, if you show up and they're neutral or have antipathy towards you, and you show up with looking innocent, it's different than if they're neutral towards you and you show up,
I think also it doesn't apply so much in the early game of this one, because I think Arkloid's character, up until this episode maybe, was the only one who could walk into town carrying what most would consider a weapon. And up until now, this session, none of us had armor.
Yeah, no, I noticed that this is also a deprived game, which I respect. No, I mean, as much as I'm ragging on this, I think a lot of the design decisions are in the right place. Usually, as usual with these kind of games, especially these kind of rank systems where you have to buy things at rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, a lot of them often feel very padded. And that's probably why I gravitate towards, Blades in the Dark or Powered by the Apocalypse, where shit works. Like, you just buy an ability and it just says you can carry more shit.
Well, a lot of them are weighted towards the rank 1, so you only need the rank 1 to get the stuff. And, like, rank 2 will be, here's a +1, and rank 3 will be, here's an artifact die.
Well, but often these are, like, worded as, maybe it might kind of, sort of, maybe work.
Well, no, to what you were saying before, a lot of them are, I will definitely take these talents before I ever take these talents. Right. So in an intelligent design scenario, you might never wind up with Sharp Tongue because I say, this is not pointless. I'll take Quartermaster and carry more stuff. But,
right. Yeah, or like the way Wanderer is worded, where Wanderer is a random bonus that might work or might not. In fact, it's really goofy because I guess talents are cheaper than skills, so I guess it's not that bad.
Yeah, rank 1 of Wanderer is 3 XP.
Right.
And since you don't lose XP for trying to teach yourself, at most you lose time, otherwise you spend a silver and just have somebody teach you Wanderer.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. You know me. I'm not a fan of these tiny little boosts that give you a tiny little thing that maybe kind of sort of work. You know, like
I mean, look at rank 2 though. Rank 2 of Wanderer, you just automatically succeed at forced march.
Well, once again, I'd love to buy that, but that would mean we'd have to do more forced marches, and I have to convince you guys to do that.
I feel like you would just turn into your Ironclaw character at that point. We just send you on ahead.
What does the Ironclaw character do then?
The Anushka flies, so she can get anywhere ahead of us.
That game also has better provisions for that. Well, anyway, I mean, I don't want to rag too much on
actually,
this.
rank 3 is where I think it would matter to you, though. That you would make one ahead of us and get a rest out of it.
Right, but I'd have to spend... It's self-training, and you have to spend, twice the new level to buy it?
Well, it's self-training unless if you find it.
You're at rank 1 now, so it would cost you a total of 9 more experience to get to rank 3.
It's self-training unless if you find the trainer that can teach you it, too.
Wait, it only costs 3 points to go up to the next level?
I'm sorry, I said that wrong. 15.
15? How did you get 15?
6 and then 9.
And is that with training or without training?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. The training The
training would cost you money. It doesn't cost you more or less experience.
Okay.
The threat of not training means you roll your own wins.
Getting 15 experience points isn't that big of a deal. So that's not that big. I guess it's not that big of a deal.
The idea being, though, that a quarter a day, which means 1/4 of the action economy, you go ahead of us, where we rest, and then we rest and catch up to you, and it pays off at that aspect.
I mean, I guess my major objection to those kinds of nickel and diming things will be that, and this is not directed at you guys, it's directed at some other players that I've had, where eventually you get 15 to 20 to 30 special abilities in your sheet, and when that happens, you will lose some of your players. Their brains will just explode.
No, I got that in Lancer.
Yeah, for some reason I couldn't handle that in Lancer, but I can handle that in Ironclaw.
Well, no, in Lancer, we'd be going through a thing, and I'm like, hold on. I got 15 abilities to keep track of here, and they're all interconnected.
Right, I promised I would be nicer, and, this is definitely, I think, this is definitely a good buy. If you're looking for an old school game that has some good modern style thinking, it's definitely, I definitely like the randomness for stuff. And also I can buy other shit. I mean, one thing that's kind of nice about this is I could just spend 3 points and start buying other abilities that I don't have. Yeah. Can we train each other? Because we can't train each other. That's kind of silly.
I don't think so.
I'll look into that.
My problem is I thought that idea before, and then I remembered Torchbearer was the one with the instructor thing in it.
Mm. Well, Torchbearer really struck me as they wanted, as an old school game written by someone who never enjoyed gaming ever. Because it's just like, how can we make this not fun?
Yes, let's make everybody have to fail a certain number of rolls just to advance your skills.
I mean, falling into a coma and you guys having to drag me somewhere where I might actually die is something I haven't experienced in a long time in gaming. And, it's an interesting thrill when you survive it and move on to the next thing. So it does capture that feel that I know Theta is looking for.
Well, for me, it puts the impetus on that edge of the seat thing where, okay, well, what would happen if you had, rolled a 1, right? And we're theoretically far less than 1 day away from town. But what happens if Arcloid keeps rolling getting lost? It's like,
yeah.
Then it's like, okay, now we have 3/4 of the day to find our way there. Okay, now we have 2/4 of the day. I should not die here. But our Pathfinder...
Right, I mean, that's one reason why I said random. Because in the true spirit of things, I don't want to get too attached to my character. I don't want to show up with every character minimaxed, because that means that when this character dies, I just show up with a clone of it. Because it's also minimaxed in the same way. And that used to really get on my nerves in games like D&D, where every character is exactly the same all the fucking time.
I'm guilty of that, I'm sorry.
No. I mean, no. You weren't continually recycling characters. This is why...
I recycled one character.
Well...
And then I went to do another one.
No, you weren't doing it every other session. I have been in games where people do it in fact, it's why I have the rule, and why I'll quit a game, if someone says, oh, you can make a new character at the same level as the old character. Nope, that's it, I'm out. Because I've been in too many games where people say, story doesn't matter, only game matters. I will completely trash a character if I can make a new one that's more powerful. And if it's a point-based game or even a feat-choosing game like D&D, the new character you make will always be more powerful than the previous one because you've learned how the game works and you know what the GM is throwing at you and what they aren't. Like, you'll know social skills might be a waste of time because it's just a killing game, or killing abilities aren't worth anything because the GM keeps finding ways to nerf them. I'll build the Diplomancer, etc.
Plus, there's the fact that the choices you make in-game while you're playing and you're experiencing things may be different than what you would pick. Oh, I've got 37 XP here to spend. I'm just going to do and build the best thing I can, rather than you're in the game, oh shit, I need to learn lockpicking just so I could do this next time, or oh shit, I need to learn this so I could do that, and you get different things.
Like I'm looking at this game and thinking, well, I should put some points into healing because holy shit, I saw what happens if everyone in the party sucks at healing. So
that's what I was pointing out before, because last go around I was playing a Druid, and Druid had a lot of healing abilities, which now respect now that they're gone.
Right. So, I like, and also in the Ironclaw game that we're in, that's why I love about Ironclaw that, Anushka went from being a character of marginal utility to, well, I had to become a combat monster because we needed that. And I also have all the, these other things I point out. Hey, I learned Burlafine way back when we did this. So I have a history and feel like an experienced character. And this is the kind of game, a good old school game like this will make you feel like that. Because they'll be like, suckers, I learned how to fire a bow back in the marshes. Twang. You get that kind of feeling of I lived long enough for this to pay off. So, but we've been going on way too long. So thank you for having me.
No problem.
It was good to be gaming again, and hopefully I'll be able to make it next week.
Yes, would love to have you back.
I hope.
I got shit going on. We're still on the air, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I got shit going on. So thanks everybody who helped with the shit going on, and let me know when we're up.
Yep.
Thanks for playing, and thanks for running, Rob. Excellent job.
No problem.
Thanks for putting up with us, everybody.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Bye-bye.